Hello, I'm Larika Charsan and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. The debate stage is now silent, the candidates have made their case, and the stakes couldn't be higher. With just 8 weeks until the US presidential election, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris went head-to-head in a heated debate. As always, domestic concerns took center stage. Voters wanted to hear about the economy, healthcare, and immigration. Trump once again argued that the Biden administration has allowed criminals to flood into the US, while Harris fired back, blaming Trump for blocking a bipartisan immigration deal in Congress. On foreign policy, the wars in Ukraine and Gaza dominated the conversation. Harris warned that dictators around the globe want to see Trump back in the White House. Trump, in turn, claimed that Israel's existence would be in jeopardy under Harris' administration. The debate may have aired on ABC News with commentary from the anchors before and after, but the real action unfolded on social media, especially on X, where users lit up the platform with reactions to the night's most viral moments.
Kamala Harris, let's have a good debate.
See, have fun.
Thank you.
You could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th month, and probably after birth.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. Because it is also true, far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed.
Now the spotlight shifts to the voters and opinion polls to see if one candidate emerged victorious in this crucial rundown. Right after the debate, Donald Trump called it his best performance yet, a sentiment echoed by many of his supporters. And of course, Kamala Harris and her supporters are claiming the same. But according to some on social media, the race remains tight. The debate didn't deliver a knockout punch, and the election could still go either way.
We had a lot of decent questions, but we never really got answers, such as, hey, how would you do X, Y, and Z? No one responded with, I would do it by doing this, and then this. A decent amount of it was, well, if you elect me, it would just happen. And unfortunately, I think the only thing that's going to be talked about today will be whether or not your pets are going to be okay, and if someone is going to eat them. I don't know why he decided to say stuff like that. It makes Harris look good, but I have to add in there were questions that she was asked that she really didn't give a decent answer on. But the big takeaway I have is that when it comes to everything going on in Ukraine, one candidate clearly is advocating for the best for Ukraine, while another one just wants to end things, even if that means that Russia will get things which they should have never gotten. And for Trump, it could have just been an easy answer of just saying, oh, Russia should never have done this, or we would get in there and tell Putin never to do this again, but he didn't say stuff like that.
While social media tries to make up its mind, one celebrity has finally decided who she is backing after months of speculation. Taylor Swift has officially endorsed Kamala Harris for president in a post to her 283 million followers, calling the Democratic candidate a warrior who fights for the causes she believes in. Swift also took a moment to encourage her fans to register to vote, urging them to dig into the candidates' positions on key issues. Swift wrapped up her message with a swipe at Republican VP candidate J.D. Vance's comments, signing off as childless cat lady. The post is paired with a photo of Swift and her cat, Benjamin Button. While Harris and Trump clashed at the National Constitution Center, pro-Palestinian protesters voiced their concerns outside. With Israel's war on Gaza now in its 11th month, neither candidate offered up a roadmap to ending the conflict.
They want you to think that these candidates have the power. It's not true. They don't have the power. You have the power. Biden, Harris, Trump, and Bibi. None are welcome in our city. Biden, Harris, Trump, and
either Trump or Harris. They're both war criminals. And Kamala wants to act like she's one of the people, and she is not. She is part of the same administration sending bombs to Gaza.
In recent years, European regulators have been actively investigating major tech companies. This week, landmark rulings have been issued in two significant cases. The cases involve Apple and Google, marking a major victory for the EU. On Tuesday, Google lost its appeal against the $2.7 billion fine imposed by EU regulators 7 years ago. The fine was for using its own price comparison service to unfairly disadvantage smaller European competitors. Meanwhile, Apple failed in its bid to overturn an order to pay about $14 billion in back taxes to Ireland. This decision is part of a broader crackdown on multinational deals with EU countries. The EU's Digital Markets Act, effective since 2022, aims to curb big tech's dominance and level the playing field for smaller competitors, requiring tech firms to address illegal and harmful content more effectively.
EU hates Apple. They famously forced them to switch from Lightning to USB Type-C. Then they were like, yeah, it's kind of messed up that users have to use your app store and only your app store, so we're going to force you to allow side loading. But those were just the regulations I've already heard about. Well, I've been in Germany the past couple of days, and it goes even deeper. Whenever I open literally any app, it pops up with this menu. Listen. Before you use the app, just know they're collecting, storing, and selling your data. Just so you know. This is a part of their general data protection regulation, and I don't like it. I'm gonna hit yes either way. I don't need you to remind me that they're selling my data.
In the US, Google is now facing a second antitrust lawsuit following last month's case where a judge found the company had unfairly dominated the online search market. This new case centers on Google's acquisition and use of digital advertising technology. The Department of Justice, along with 17 states, accuses Google of illegally monopolizing the digital advertising industry.
Website publishers need digital ad technology to make money from advertisements, and Google offers services that allow websites to sell ad space and enable advertisers to target potential buyers. This arrangement allows Google to make significant profits from both parties. It earns revenue from its advertiser ad network, publisher ad servicer, and advertising exchange AdX. So, the Department of Justice is claiming Google has a huge market share in each of these separate markets. Google's market share is as much as 91%, making it difficult for rivals to make money. The DOJ also says that Google has corrupted legitimate competition in the ad tech industry by engaging in systematic campaigns and shutting out rivals.
Is huge. I'm talking $700 billion with a B dollars a year huge. And there's basically no oversight because it's pretty much all automated. And that means it can end up funding websites full of hate and disinformation. I know that because I've literally been investigating it for over a year and I've caught them doing it. According to the Department of Justice, Google has a monopoly in the digital ad industry. Like this image from the Department of Justice shows a very simplified version of the path an ad takes from its birth in some marketing department to a website you click on. And it shows you that Google has between a 40 and 90% market share of every step in that process. Google did this by being like, hey, do you want to advertise on Google search? Also a monopoly. What about YouTube? Well, then you have to use us to advertise. And if websites want those advertiser dollars, well, they have to use Google too. And one of the many problems with monopolies is that they can but you have to keep coming back. And when the $700 billion ad industry consumers, that can bankroll a disinformation crisis. So breaking up Google, if it's proven to be a monopoly, could change that, and therefore change what gets funded on the internet.
Google is also facing scrutiny in the UK for similar issues. The Competition and Markets Authority accuses Google of using anti-competitive practices to dominate the online ad market. Like the DOJ, the CMA blames Google for stifling competition and harming thousands of British businesses. The CMA has found evidence that Google is using its market power to limit competition in online advertising. Google denies these claims, but if proven guilty, it could face fines of up to 10% of its annual global revenue and be subject to legally binding orders. On Monday, Apple officially launched this highly anticipated iPhone 16, and this time, the company is putting artificial intelligence at the forefront of its innovation. After months of speculation, Apple's AI strategy, initially introduced in June, was finally showcased in full detail. Many had wondered if Apple was failing behind in the AI race, especially with competitors like Google and OpenAI making significant strides. However, Apple's latest announcements show that the company has been working on its AI capabilities in true Apple fashion. So, iPhone 16 introduced a variety of AI-driven features that aim to improve the way users interact with their devices. Let's have a look at some of the new features.
First and foremost, ChatGPT will now be integrated within Siri, and it will make all of our conversations with you a lot more personalized and a lot more useful. With the latest and the greatest writing tools, you'll be able to summarize long pieces of text into quick summaries and takeaways within a few seconds. You'll also be able to create custom expressive images based on the prompt you write within your iPhone.
And I can search my entire photo gallery by typing in a sentence, bruh. Better yet, I can describe a moment in a video and it's gonna pull that video up at that specific timestamp. What do you mean I can snap a photo of a flyer and add it straight to my calendar?
Here's a photo, right? And now this photo, we're going to do a little bit of editing right here. But you can see that there's a new cleanup button right there. And if we tap that and let it analyze the photos, it sees that that guy, he's got to go. So we're going to get, he's gone.
Exciting as it may sound, not everyone's impressed with Apple's latest reveal. After Monday's announcement, a wave of reactions flooded social media, with many tech enthusiasts voicing disappointment.
Like Wilvo here, labeled the event underwhelming, critiquing the new AI features as merely incremental updates rather than groundbreaking innovations. In fact, social media was flooded with reactions claiming that several of Apple's so-called new features were strikingly similar to what Google has been offering for years. Despite the buzz around Apple's AI tools, many critics argue that the company is arriving late to the AI game, like 7 years later. But as some like Dylan here pointed out, that's often how Apple operates. They show up late but manage to outshine the competition in the long run. Whether that will be the case this time remains to be seen once these features hit the market.
Just a few hours after the Apple launch, Chinese smartphone maker Huawei unveiled its latest model, the Mate X-T. Huawei's trifold smartphone, which it claims is the first in the world, sells for about $2,800. It also comes with artificial intelligence features such as text translation and cloud-based content generation. The device has already received more than 4 million pre-orders. Now, this issue could further hurt mobile phone sales, particularly in a crucial market segment. That segment is young people, especially school children. Globally, from Europe to Australia and the United States, authorities are exploring ways to limit mobile device use. Australia has pushed forward the debate with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's announcement of a new law to ban young children from social media. A trial will determine whether the age limit should be 14 or 16, with the law set to take effect by the end of the year. The PM argues that setting age limits will protect children's mental health and shield them from inappropriate online content.
I want kids to have a childhood. I want them off their devices and onto the footy field and onto the netball courts. I want them to have real experiences with real people. Together, we can get this done.
This is a scourge. We know that there is mental health consequences for what many of the young people have had to deal with. The bullying that can occur online, the access to material which causes social harm.
Celebrated actor James Earl Jones has passed away at the age of 93. Many of you probably know him for his iconic voice.
There is no escape. Don't make me destroy you. You do not yet realigned.
That was his voice as the menacing Darth Vader in Star Wars. James Earl Jones enjoyed a remarkable career in film, television, and theater. He was also the beloved Mufasa in the Oscar-winning The Lion King and starred in classics like The Hunt for Red October and Clear and Present Danger. His accolades include an honorary Oscar, 3 Tonys, 2 Emmys, and a Grammy. His passing marks the end of a monumental career in theater and cinema.
That's very good. Don't turn your back on me, Scar.
I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic...
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
Start tearing this ship apart piece by piece until you find those tapes. Find the passengers of this vessel. I want them alive.
Commander, tear this ship apart until you found those plans and bring me the passengers. I want them alive.
Rest in peace, legend. And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.